Morning, sunshine. Ready? Come on, Rex. Let's go out the door. Yeah, let's go. This door, over here. Let's go out this door. Yeah, it's a pretty one. No, this one. Yeah, look at that door. That is a really pretty one. The sun is out there. Look what the sunlight does when it comes through differing thicknesses of glass. It refracts and makes the rainbow colors. So we've got refracting sunlight and off of the dewdrops. It was a heavy dew last night. We had a light fog. The temperature cooled to the dew point, and that's called radiational cooling. And since then, the fog has burned off. And, oh, there's a little fog left over there. Doesn't that make for a striking sky? And then if you look up, you've got you can see the stratocumulus there at the low, about 300, 400 feet up, and then you go up another 20,000 feet, and that's a cirrus ice crystal cloud or supercooled water vapor. So always watching the sky, always watching the water, always watching the waves. Let's take a look over there. Sorry, all over the place. Get so excited. So that's stratocumulus burning off, and it looks like some instability cumulus trying to form. A lot of times, remember, going to school in Vermont would have that morning fog. And oh, speaking of that, Ben Frechette found a webcam that I didn't know existed from the top of Burke Mountain this morning. And a lot of times, this is where we went to school a long time ago, that morning fog would turn over into instability cumulus in the afternoon, and sometimes it would pop a shower. So there's a little instability in the atmosphere. There's a weak front around. It's over New England, but on either side of that front this morning, it was in the 40s, and actually one of the coldest spots this morning was right here on Cape Cod, Provincetown. Temperature 45, the black number, and the dew point 45, the blue number. We call that 45 over 45, 100% relative humidity, and that's the reason for the fog. And we can watch my web camera from this morning. It's on the chimney right over there, and we can see the time lapse of that fog and burning off this morning into a blue sky. So sun and clouds for today. There's very light wind, and it's not going to change much. The satellite imagery this morning. The fog that covered much of New England is lifting, or already has lifted, and then you get the remnant bands of rain with now post-tropical storm Helene, which has broken into pieces, and we have several waves of low pressure slowly rippling off to the south of New England, and it looks like the front that's coming through today is completely decaying. So here's tomorrow's map, and you see that the storm formerly known as Helene is now a wave of weak low pressure moving off of New Jersey, and there's a front coming in from the west. And then if we go right to Wednesday, the front coming in from the west is coming into New England with just a few showers, and what's left of Helene should miss to the south. So Wednesday, kind of a probably gray day, but not too much rain in New England. And there's going to be a new high pressure system coming in, and that one on Wednesday comes in from the west. So until then, we're going to have likely a high pressure dominating to the north, and that means a wind from the east. You can get enough of these cirrus clouds, can you? Look at that. There's the low cloud moving towards the west, the high clouds moving toward the east. So just a chance of a shower on Wednesday. If we look at the Boston 5-day on weather.us, you see pretty nice weather here. Each night we get some fog that burns off. The wind is from the east. Tomorrow the wind is from the east at 10 to 15, a little stronger. And my brother says the tuna fleet is going out tuna fishing. And was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Either way, it's going to be kind of an easterly wind until Wednesday. And then when that front goes by on Wednesday, Thursday, again, just like last week, is going to be the day without an easterly wind. It's nowhere near as strong as it was last week, but again, we do have the ocean flow, and wait till I show you the big picture ocean map coming up late in the week and next weekend. Some serious stuff happening in the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. I mean, the storms are all lined up. Pacific Ocean, there's a super typhoon south of Taiwan, winds of 140 miles an hour. That's going to go into Taiwan. James Reynolds and other chasers are on the road to Taiwan, so we'll be seeing their coverage of that. And there's a storm south of Alaska that is forecast to be hurricane strength, and that is the Pacific Ocean. So it's happening in the Pacific and North America. Over the continent, it's fairly quiet. That storm we talked about that was going to drive into Canada is driving into Canada, and it's going to end up being in the 960s near Hudson Bay. and that's a powerful storm in Canada. In the meantime, there's going to be record heat in the desert southwest. Phoenix may set an October record going to 111 degrees. Got this intel from Jim Cantori. So you're going to have building early winter cold in northern Canada and excessive late summer heat across the United States. And that's going to produce this very fast jet stream we've been talking about, ripping in off the Pacific Ocean and then right across southern Canada, the northern United States. And that's going to be sort of like walking a tightrope, trying to figure out which short waves embedded in there are going to dig and cause our next storm. Yesterday I mentioned it was a very low confidence forecast for what was going to happen with a possible nor'easter or two here Saturday and Tuesday. That would be days 6 and 9, somewhere in there. And I guess today would be day 5 and day 8. So let's go to the Euro. And I'm going to show the continental view first, and then I'm going to show the Atlantic Ocean, because the Atlantic Ocean is a spectacle. So here's the continental view of southern Canada, northern United States. You can't really see that low that's going off into Hudson Bay because it disappears off the map, but that is a powerhouse of a storm that's going to drive a weakening front through here on Wednesday, and then there's the remnant of Helene going off to our south. The front goes by, and then we get into a high-pressure system that's not to the north. That high is to the west, at least initially, and that means a westerly wind. That means fairly warm air. There's going to be a record heat coming out of the southwest, and then there's going to be a really sharp front, almost stationary front that's going to kind of lean down in here about Friday and Saturday, where yesterday there was a storm. Now there are just some showers there. And at the same time, we're going to be watching the Gulf of Mexico for a possible tropical cyclone. More on that in a minute. And when that possible tropical cyclone gets east of Florida, the energy is going to wrap north into this storm that is still forecast. This is the second day in a row for Tuesday, October 8th, deepening down to the 980s, powerhouse of a storm that's going to seemingly stall and sit around here for a couple of days next Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, confidence a little higher than yesterday because this is 2 days in a row we've seen it, and the storms are just going off across the entire northern hemisphere, so why not add another one to New England? And now if I go to the NHC, we go to the National Hurricane Center, and you can see Tropical Depression 12 has formed out there. Joyce kind of fizzled, and you have another X coming off of Africa, and you have another X in the Caribbean. One of those is likely, well, Tropical Depression 12 actually is going to become Kirk. And then the next names are going to be L, Leslie, and M, Milton. And Leslie and Milton are going to form, and I think one of them may be in the Gulf of Mexico, and then I didn't get LM. I didn't see the name of the N storm, but we may go through K, L, M, and N in the next 10 days, and for that reason I want to show the Atlantic Ocean big scale from eastern North America to western Europe, and the storms are all just lined up out there. Tropical storm Isaac is going to fade but turn into a post-tropical storm and go up to near Scotland. And then you have a series of storms going off in the Atlantic Ocean. The northern stream, those are going from west to east, from North America to Europe. And I'm going to take us out to about day 8. This would be Tuesday, October 8th. And I'm going to freeze it right there. There's the nor'easter over New England. And you've got a 1025 high pressure system sprawling from south of Greenland that's kind of connecting all these storms. And if you look at all those black lines, those are isobars. The wind is literally from the east at storm force from Scandinavia all the way to New England. That's a 3,300 mile fetch of surface wind coming across the North Atlantic Ocean. Yes, North Atlantic Oscillation on my mind, because we talked about it last week when those storms were stalled south of Cape Cod and we had all those easterly winds for so many days. Well, the North Atlantic Oscillation was going in an upward direction, meaning the Greenland block was easing, but now look at it, it's turning on a dime back negative in the other direction. And the column below the red and black lines with the yellow there, those are the verification lines, and that negative North Atlantic Oscillation verified off the charts beyond the forecast last week, the week before, and it looks like it's headed down again. So that's called the Greenland block. and that's going to cause these storms to kind of stall out and stay mostly from south of Cape Cod into Europe, and cold air builds in Canada, and you get these storms in Europe. And now let's go back to days 9 and 10 on that oceanic view. And if you look at day 10, the little system that's coming off of Africa right now is forecast to deepen to 935 millibars. That is a major hurricane way out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and that one is going to stall out there. Meantime, you get the other storms that are moving off from Cape Cod up toward France. So we're going to go through the L, the M, and the N. I think that that one in the middle of the ocean is probably going to end up being the M, Milton storm. So much to watch. Now, fortunately for us right now, it's a quiet stretch of weather for the most part here. I could show more imagery coming out of North Carolina, but that's just horrifying, and you see that everywhere else. But finally, help is getting there to Asheville and Chimney Rock in North Carolina. So that's the weather part. How about the and more part? We've got some fans. There's Macy and Anne-Marie. Where's T-Rex? T-Rex is probably sitting in the sun, if he can find some sun. So we're beginning the and more. Kevin's pretty chrysanthemums. T-Rex and Macy having a stare off, and they're being so quiet. And one of the lawnmower is going to show up here any minute, and everything's going to be noisy, but I appreciate everyone being quiet. Yesterday was definitely a day for reflection. You go to a cemetery for a funeral. It's very sad to say goodbye, but we all get together and we get to have reunion of sorts, and so interesting getting to hear what the firefighters say and how they are just an incredible fraternal team. And we lost a huge team member with Paul passing, but going around the cemetery is really pretty, and you see the names of people you knew from 50, 60 years ago, and you see friends you made 50 or 60 years ago, and it's always pretty at the cemeteries. The trees are so pretty, it's peaceful. So I did a lot of that reflecting yesterday in this beautiful car. Former fire chief in Dennis owns this car. I went to the ebb tide and the sister station now, Seaview, and the McCormicks were all hard at it working indoors, and it's great to see. I worked with the McCormicks at the ebb tide about, I don't know, 45 years ago. Everyone has worked at the ebb tide that grew up around here. And great to see all of you yesterday. And so I'll leave you with the Enmore Sunday day of reflection. Oh, and T-Rex none too pleased with the Patriots' performance yesterday. He said that was not pretty. Yeah, Patriots rebuild mode. Thank you, Anne-Marie and Macy, for being so patient. All right, talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, some blue sky, some green vinker and grass. Strata Q is broken up. That's yew shrubs. Never done landscaping, but we got other things to do today. How's the guests doing in New Hampshire? Doing good. And what do you know? More tree work. It just never ends. Look at the oaks. Oh my goodness. Good luck with that. Where's the truck when you need it? Sunday, no days off. Isn't there some football you guys should be watching or something? Wow, looks good. What'd you say?
Nothing.
What'd you just say?
Acho nessa pronto lá tudo sky.
Ik verstaat niks there. Good. You say you cut a tree in our yard?
We trimmed your tree.
Much appreciated. You have that. See that maple up there, and see the cedar below it. If you guys could put 20 feet between those, that'd be great. It'll prevent some of the maples from coming in your yard. But I'll take all the leaves anyway.
So your tenant started pulling up the little poplars that are popping up everywhere, and her friend's like, "Come on, we're leaving."
Love that.
I was asking her about it.
They're coming up on my yard.
She said, "Yeah, they're from that."
Must be why they call them poplar. They just pop, pop, pop. So what are you gonna do with all that lumber now?
I don't know. I was hoping there was a bank there, but there's nothing. I don't know. We got a little out of control, and we're gonna have a big pile in the driveway. And
all right, Halloween. Let's burn it all right there.
can we?
Yeah.
Except we'll ruin the asphalt. We already talked about it.
Oh.
Sold. Angela coming back for the butternut pretty soon. Big pines, vines, invasive vines, bittersweet. Take over. It's pretty. that it takes over. There's another TK. ATK. Looking good. Gathering at graveyards. It's sad, but it's also a time you can meet people you haven't seen in a long time. And I find that it's so pretty and peaceful. So if you come here just on a quiet day without anybody else, the foliage is tremendous. So it's that time of the year. And you can see old friends and learn new things. And these are my old stomping grounds. Right over there was the youth center. When I was in high school, we were mischievous right here on these very grounds right here, on the north side of Dennis. All right, now we're going over to the south side of Dennis to visit another family that I've known my whole life, the McCormicks, hosting a gathering this afternoon for Paul Prue and family. And we've crossed to the south side. Nantucket Sound never disappoints. See if there's anybody on the beach. The remnant of Helene spinning clouds up in our direction. And a few people on the beach. That's Nantucket Sound. There are the spectators of Nantucket Sound. It's pretty wedding-ish, doesn't it? Fabulous cloud day. Peter, can we turn in your driveway now that it's not summertime? No turning in driveway. Hey, Peter. Old Wharf Road. And just about anybody that grew up around here worked for the McCormicks. It's their new place. It's only been here about 25 years. Seaview. But the original McCormick place that we all worked, right here at the ebb tide. Looks like the gift shop might still be open. 3-course specials. The water's right over there. And this is more of a function hall now. I think Paul McCormick built this one. I'm leaving the camera in the car. Otherwise, I'm the guy with the camera all the time. Okay, one more thing before I leave the camera in the car. Gorgeous. How can I not get a video? So pretty. Interior looks mint. That's awesome. Just gorgeous. Alright, now putting the camera in the car. Connecting Rods, Auto Club, Scituate, Massachusetts. We put in some time in Scituate, didn't we? Alright, going inside. Special day today. Friend-wise, weather-wise. Couldn't have asked for a better turnout of old friends getting reacquainted. All in memory of Paul F. Prue. You would love the weather today. Well, you are loving the weather today with the blue sky, and it feels like 70 degrees with very light wind right now. The stratocumulus coming in off the ocean, thinned out nicely. The altocumulus, northern edge of Helene, leaving us alone.
very grateful. New friends and old friends here in Dennis, Massachusetts. We have a very special place. Hope you all had a good Sunday and are having a good Monday. Leave you with a time lapse over Bass River. Fascinating sky today and every day. Falling leaves. And autumnal sunsets. Until we meet again. Talk to you tomorrow.